Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Rob's Little Blue Book. And tonight, as you saw from the title, we're doing gyoza, which we're going to get to in a second. And we'll talk a little bit about gyoza in a second. It's an amazing thing to know how to make. It's a really easy technique. It's something you can make your own. And, oh, well, then you'll have good input, Spencer. Hey, Spencer. And Paul. And all the other people watching. But before we do that, I wanted to get into the cool thing for the week. And there's going to be some lead up to it. And we're going to talk a little bit about knives first. So I'm going to switch over to the other screen. And here we got our ingredients here, which we don't need right now. And I wanted to talk about knives, and I'm going to basically go through my knife journey and how I ended up with the knife that I have, because it's probably the single most important tool you can have as a cook or a chef. And it's very, very important that you get the right one and one that works for you. So not, you can go on all these review sites and look up 10 best chef knives, and that's not going to do you any good at all, because everybody's different. Everybody handles a knife differently, and everybody likes different things in a knife. So I'm going to show you my progression, and then we'll get on to the cool thing. So I originally started with this guy here, which has sesame oil on it, actually. This is a 12-inch Victorinox chef's knife. And I mainly got it because I thought it would be really cool to have a big knife. And it is cool. It's a great knife. And I used this for a very, very long time. Hey, Nick. And I liked it so much that I actually got the rosewood handle version to see if I would like that better. And here's the first little inkling of what we're going to do. You need to try more than one knife. Don't go into a store. First of all, never buy a knife that you can't handle, although I do it all the time. But in general, if you can hold a knife, that's better. Remember, too, you're going to hold your chef's knife with a pinch grip like this, okay? Don't hold it like this. You will buy the wrong knife. So always remember, pinch grip, just like you hold like a pencil, okay? This gives you the most control over a knife. It's the safest grip. So given that this is going to be your grip, I decided, and rosewood's nice, right? Everybody likes a nice hardwood handle. And I hated this grip. It looked good. It still looks good. But I didn't like it at all. I really find this Fibrox handle the most comfortable grip you can have for a knife. So these are kind of retired for me. I don't use these anymore. And then I had this guy for a little while. No, this is kind of an aside. This is an aside knife. I had this. This is a global knife. Very, very nice. It's a vegetable prep knife. And it's small, and I thought I would like a smaller knife. And this was going to be my paring knife. And it's a fantastic knife. I never use it. But it's a great knife. Then this was a present from Rebecca. And I'm going to show you guys two knives now at the same time, because I got a chance to try both. So this was a present from Rebecca, and Rebecca also had this one, and she dropped this in the sink and broke the tip off it, or bent the tip, and she got another one, but I took it and I fixed the tip. Hey, Aaron, nice to see you on stream. But what it did give me is a chance to try out the 8-inch version of the knife, which was fantastic. This knife is too small for me. This is a fantastic knife for a lot of people, especially if you have smaller hands and you're not as experienced in the kitchen. This could be the only knife you need. It was too small for me. This one just Goldilocks it. 10.5-inch, the Fibrox handled, which I really love. This is a fantastic knife. This is my knife. I use this for 99%, 95%, 99% of the work I do in the kitchen. Now, there are other knives. This is just chef's knives. There are other knives you need in the kitchen. I got my little vegetable prep knife here. A really handy knife to have is a paring knife. This is good for, I don't know what it's good for, actually. I never use this thing. But I think it's good for like if you're hulling strawberries or doing small little thing. I don't know. But most chefs, cooks, they will have one of these and they will have a use for it. Peeling apples, I guess. I don't know. But a very popular knife to have in the kitchen. I know, like, my mom uses like a paring knife for just about everything. It's a little bit bigger than this. Pears, yeah, sure, pears. It's a pear, yeah. Oh God, I just got that. So I have a little bit of back pain going on tonight. I'm a little bit slow, so I may not. For once, I probably won't be the fastest person on the uptake in the room. Anyway, paring knife. And then finally, this is the only other knife that I really use on a regular basis. This is a boning knife, and I use this for both taking apart chickens and fish, stuff like that. This is a really handy knife to have. This is this knife that I use the second most, and I really just use it for butchery. Yeah, so Serena's nailed it. And this is the really important point, is the knife has to be for you and your uses, right? I don't use this knife for exactly the reasons Serena mentioned. First of all, I have big hands, so this knife gets lost in my hands. But I don't do a lot of fruits and vegetables, right? I do chickens. I love chickens and fish. So this is a really good knife for that. So this is kind of like, so if you go through a traditional, they're not going to have these guys. They're just too big. But if you look in the kitchen drawer of a cook, you're going to see, you know, like these 3 knives, okay? This is kind of like the European knife set. And I highly recommend that everybody start with, and I would recommend getting this one here. Where'd it go? This is the Victorinox 8-inch chef's knife. It is not expensive. It's 60 to 80 bucks, I think. I'll have to look it up. It's a fantastic deal. It has a bulletproof, comfortable handle that it's all plastic or Fibrox or whatever they call it. So no food gets in. It's easy to clean. It's really easy to maintain, and it just holds a razor sharp edge. I prefer mine a little bit bigger, but for 99% of the people out there, this would be a good place to start. Now, if you're like my brother Pete, who really likes his Japanese knives, the other end of the spectrum is Pete has Japanese knives specific to species of fish. Okay, like he'll have like a salmon knife and a whitefish knife, and it's nuts. And they're also very expensive, and they're also really, really cool. But I don't need that many knives. To me, it's overkill. Now Pete loves his knives, and he's really good with them. Which brings us to the cool thing of the week. And this is why I have a point here. Because we're talking about it. I know a lot of the people out there who are watching, and I know for a fact, some of you have kitchen drawers full of random crappy knives. And you should be thinking about what kind of, hey, Ellie, you should be thinking about what kind of knife do I want in my kitchen. There you go. We're back at 68 bucks, so I was pretty close. And which brings me to the cool thing for tonight. And I think this could be a solution for a lot of people. Yeah, that's a good knife, Paul. I wouldn't recommend it as a first knife for everybody. And also, they cranked the price on it. It used to be like 35 bucks. It's like 80 bucks now. It's not good value. Okay, here's the cool thing for the week. The Chinese, they're the other end of the spectrum than the Japanese. They have knife. This is it. That's it. That's all they use. This knife is technically called a Chinese cleaver. The Chinese have a Chinese name for it, of course, which I can't pronounce. I don't even know what it is. But they do everything with this. This is it. Knife. And I bought this a couple of weeks ago, not quite 2 weeks ago, because when I was thinking about, and you might laugh a little bit, but I think this might be the perfect beginner's knife for a home cook. First of all, it does everything. You only need one. When you go to the knife drawer, you only have one choice. And you'll see, I've been using this for all my cooking since I got it, and I'm really, really impressed with it. It's not going to replace my 10.5-inch knife, but I love the way this knife handles. I know this looks intimidating, but it's really not. And it has a whole bunch of features that make it really suitable for the home cook. First of all, when you use this knife, the edge is very far away from your fingers, right? Like, everybody knows, like, little chef's grip when you're, I should probably do this on a cutting board. So let's just do a couple of examples here. If I'm chopping a shallot with, let's say, my Victorinox, right? If I'm, like, the edge is right up on my fingers, right? This is my little chopping motion thing. I'll answer your question in a sec, Paul. No, I like the flat blade, and I'll show you why in a sec. This, when my fingers are nowhere near this edge, right? And this is just, and it's also razor sharp. Really pleased with this. It also takes the place of, and I didn't even, oh yeah, here. So another thing you guys see me use all the time is a bench scraper. Like I chop, 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 chop. And, did I even say shallots? No, this is a scallion. I told you I was tired, guys. This is a scallion. Did I say shallot? I don't even know. But I use my bench scraper all the time when I'm cutting to transfer cut things into like a little ding, whatever. And of course this is just scoop and go. And I've been thinking about also, like, obviously in Chinese cuisine they don't do a lot of heavy proteins. I have taken a chicken apart with this, no problems at all. You would think, like, how the hell you take a chicken apart? This is what I normally use for chickens, right? Got a flexible blade, it gets into all the nooks and crannies. I had no trouble with this. I'm gonna put these guys away. So this becomes also like a scoop tool, spatula, if you will. And I'll show you a couple of other kind of neat things. Like if you need to dice up something, I'm just going to cut up some of this here. If you need to dice up something really small. So with a chef's knife, if I want to like run the knife through something like this, right? It's like just chop. And it works okay. I've been doing that for years. But the way the cleaver works is kind of neat because you get a double bounce. I don't know if you guys listen. We're all going to listen for a sec. You hear that rock back? Like that. So when you go through something, you get a double bounce, right? You're getting 2 cuts for every motion, and like for garlic and everything else, it just annihilates it. It's so much faster. So I'm really enjoying this knife, and I really think if you're in the market for your first real knife, your first knife that isn't going to be, you know, whatever you got from your parents when you moved out, went to university, which is what my knives were for a very, very long time. This thing is dynamite, and I highly recommend it. And you only have one knife to maintain. You only got one knife in the drawer. This will do, yeah, it's neat. Yeah, Ellie, but you know what? This isn't hard, right? Like, this looks cool, but it's not difficult. I'm just a huge fan. So, guys, this was the cool thing for the week, and I brought it up for the very specific reason, not because it's cool, well, partly because it's cool, but also I really think this is a really good, viable knife for somebody who's just looking to have something in the kitchen, especially if you don't cook that often. I will say with this thing, I don't know if you can see it. Now, you have your pinch grip, and this is, yes, is this dishwasher safe? I wouldn't put this in the dishwasher. This has a rosewood handle, which I put some mineral oil on. But I think, Sabrina, I would not put this in the dishwasher. Also, you just shouldn't put your knives in the dishwasher in general. Just don't. So another couple of cool things is it has a built-in meat tenderizer. So this back spine here, Chinese chefs will use for tenderizing meat. So you don't need to, it replaces your meat hammer. I will say this one, and you can't see it here, but because of the pinch grip, this back spine has quite a, it's not sharp, but it's a very pronounced edge. And it was already starting to bother me, so I took a little bit of sandpaper and I just rounded out I rounded it here. I just took the edge off here and underneath here. So where my fingers are against the knife, it's nice and comfy. You'll see me use it tonight. I'm going to use it for cooking tonight. But seriously, guys, definitely something to consider. Okay, now we have spent enough knife. We have spent enough time on the knife. Let's get into gyoza. And gyoza are really simple. And I'll tell you one of the reasons I picked gyoza. I mean, first of all, gyoza are awesome. And gyoza are the ultimate make-ahead food. I'm not a huge fan of meal prep. You know, I see the guys on TikTok, and it's always dudes. I don't know why, but they make 35 days of breakfast burritos and eat that every morning out of the freezer, and that's just not right. And I get it. I get it. That it's convenient and everything else, and I know it seems like there's a time savings because you just go into the freezer and you get it, you pop it in the microwave or whatever, or you put it in the oven and it's done. But first of all, there's lots of things you can make for breakfast fast, and every time you meal prep and pull something out of the freezer, if you do it a lot, a little bit of your soul goes in the microwave with it and it's gone forever. Okay, so the solution to meal prep and making things fast is not making lots of things in advance, because quite frankly, most things don't keep. It's not that rude. But you can make lots of stuff fast from scratch, so you don't need to, right? Which is why listen to me, the royal we. This is why I teach techniques here that people can learn to make things quickly from whatever happens to be on hand. Wow, sorry guys, okay. Now, having said all of that, gyoza freeze beautifully, and this is the one thing that you can have a ton of in your freezer that you can just take out of the freezer and cook from scratch. They do keep beautifully. Not many foods do, and it's one of the reasons I love them. The other reason I love gyoza is because the filling, the technique is, it's just a dumpling. You can put whatever you want in. And I was kind of inspired to do this because I watched a video on a the only gyoza restaurant that has a Michelin star. And we're basically going to be doing kind of his recipe, but kind of my own. But the recipe evolved over time. And, yeah, I mean, there's exceptions to every rule, guys. But I think that it would be a goal for... Yes, Serena, I agree with all of that as well. But you can do those things. You can do those things in other ways that are better for you. Yeah, I mean, but everybody's like that, right? You make your own rules. You make your rules for yourself, and then you can break your own rules. And I know that I do that all the time. And that's just the way it is. Okay. Getting a little sidetracked. What are we doing? We're going to do gyoza. So I'm going to show you guys my filling for gyoza, but I want you to think like every household should have like a specialty, a special gyoza. Gyoza are all over Asia, all over China, all over Japan. Just gyoza restaurants everywhere, and every restaurant has like their special blend. And you, over time, can develop your own special blend gyoza, personal to you and the people that are important to you. So let's get into it. Now there are certain things that are in all. Well, okay. So let's go through the ingredients. You do need a protein. I'm using pork. You could use chicken. You could use any ground meat you want. You could use tofu, Beyond Meat, whatever you want to use in place of a protein. Go ahead. I like pork. I especially like this ground pork, which I get from my little butcher because it's got tons of fat in it, which in this case I want. Pork and cabbage are a classic pairing, so we're going to use a little bit of cabbage. And if you can get like garlic chives, which is it's called nira, is a Chinese garlic chive, get those. I couldn't. So we're going to use scallions and regular old chives here. And that's basically going to be our filling. For spices, we are going to be using black and white pepper and a little ground ginger. You could also use fresh ginger and garlic here as part of your filling. I didn't have any on hand, so I'm not going to. And that's it. So yeah, Rebecca, sorry, I'm using ground ginger. And I'm using ground ginger as kind of an experiment for me. So normally I wouldn't use ground ginger. I would use fresh ginger, right? However, Michelin star chef dude uses ground ginger. I'm going to try it, right? Okay. Now, having said all that, we're going to start with the cabbage. We're going to show you a little trick about cabbage. And I'm just eyeballing quantities, guys, because in China, the dumplings or the gyoza are going to have more protein than veg. And in Japan, it's flipped. Okay? Okay, there you go. So I'm eyeballing the quantities, and we're just going to chop up some cabbage here. I'm just going to take it off the end and work back here. And it's a different cutting motion, too, with the cleaver. This is called a push chop. I don't know if you guys can see me. I'm like pushing down into it. And the nice thing about the flat, this blade has almost no rocker, is that it hits the cutting board at the same time. Is that enough cabbage? I don't know. It's probably enough cabbage, right? That's not enough cabbage, actually. I'm looking at the meat. So I'm going to use all the meat, and I'm just going to take the cabbage. And we could do our like fancy double chop, but I don't need it that fine. So let's take a little more cabbage here. This is Napa cabbage. You could use Chinese cabbage. You could use regular cabbage. You could use basically whatever you can lay your hands on. I feel like that's about the right amount of cabbage. I'm going to stop there. And the trick with cabbage is we don't want our gyoza to be super soggy. The cabbage sheds like... I have my thing here. I just use my hands. But anyway, here. This is the way I should have done it. I'm going to throw a little bit of salt in here. And that's going to draw the moisture out of the cabbage. And then in about 10 minutes, by the time we get there, we're going to wring the moisture out of the cabbage so our gyoza aren't super soggy. Yeah, except the ratios are wrong, Serena. Maybe I'll use some more, but right now I'm going to just go with the cabbage I have. I'm figuring about 4 scallions. Let's chop these up real quick. Does anybody remember Walk with Yan, Martin Yan? It was a show like on PBS when I was a kid. I watched a video of him, Martin Yan, take apart a chicken in 18 seconds with one of these, which I will never try, but I thought it was pretty cool. Okay, we're just gonna take these all the way down. Probably enough. See our trick here. Okay, and this is going to go in a different bowl. This part of the mix. I don't think it's fine enough. Yeah, see, Mark, he's great. He's still great. A very accomplished chef. Okay, I think that's enough green onion. Leave those guys. We're going to go for some chives here. I'm thinking most of the chives. And chives just go everywhere. I don't know why that happens, but... This is also a great thing if you're like me and you buy fresh herbs a lot. I just put chives everywhere. This is a great way to use up your leftovers. Just throw them in your gyoza. I don't think it's about enough. We do want to make these a little bit finer. There we go. There we go. Okay. Feeling good about where we're at. Any questions so far? I didn't even know walk before you... Yeah, I know. Chives go everywhere. They're like spring-loaded. Okay, let me clean up. Just made a huge mess here. Kind of annoying, actually. Okay. I asked for questions and it didn't even look. Are there any questions? So this is going to go in a bowl with our pork, which we're going to get to in a sec. So the other thing we're going to have to do is make the wrappers. I don't recommend, well, actually, I don't know. So gyoza wrappers are, yeah, I could do that actually. I'm going to practice more with the chicken. I've been, because I'm a geek, I've been researching like different ways to butcher chicken. But before we put all the filling together, let's do the wrappers. So, I actually don't even think I brought them down. You of course can go to the store and buy gyoza wrappers, which is what I recommend you do. But I thought I would show you, just in case you're out of wrappers one day or can't get to the store. Show you guys how to make gyoza wrappers. It's really easy. So you want about now they're chive wrappers. I'm just going to take about half this guy, I think. So this dough is, good question, Rebecca. This dough is 250 grams of flour, 150 grams of water, and about a quarter teaspoon of salt. It's just, yeah, it's a very, very simple dough. And what I want to do is roll this out into a, I'll show you how to do this. Picking up a little, how long will the dough keep in the fridge? Overnight anyway, for sure, but it won't keep forever. It's not like, because it'll start to ferment, right? I'll just stretch this guy out a bit. There we go. I have an order in with my brother Pete to make me a proper like pasta rolling board, but he has not done it yet. Okay, that's good enough. So what we want to do, guys, if you want to take off a piece like basically about the size of gnocchi, like you're making gnocchi. There we go. Okay. And you need either cornstarch or potato starch. So I have, where's one of my trays? I have potato starch here, which I'm going to use. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, oh, these are huge. I'm going to be okay. These are going to be big gyoza. Fine. I'm going to give these guys a toss. I'm using potato starch, but cornstarch will work just fine. And then to roll these guys out, so you want to get like a good pile of starch going. So this is actually like a dumpling rolling pin, which I use for tortillas, but we're using for dumplings tonight. This was $2 at a Asian market. And you can grab 2 of these guys. You can do 2 or 3 at a time. I'm not super good at it, so I'm going to do just like 2 at a time here. And then you just roll them out. And there's a bunch of different techniques you can use for this. You can see I've got 2 here. They won't stick because they're covered in cornstarch. Actually, these are about the right size. As I said, like, there you go. Instant wrapper, right? I'm gonna put on something maybe. Any questions on gyoza wrappers? I feel like this is pretty, and everybody has different techniques for doing this little rolling part. When you get good at it, you could do like 3 at a time. I've never tried 4, but 2 for me seems to be like just kind of the sweet spot. Oh, these are almost stuck. Keep them, and also once you make up, no, you don't, Rebecca. You won't get them that thin. You do want to roll them pretty thin, but they don't go translucent like the pasta. But as long as you use a decent amount of starch, then you can just stack these up. You can freeze them. You can keep them in the fridge, whatever you want. And now, are they better than the ones you buy in the supermarket? I'm going to say yes. But they're not substantially better, so don't let it keep you from making gyoza. You can roll them thinner than you can buy them in the store, and the thinner ones are just a little bit nicer to eat. There we go. Oh, this guy could use just roll him out a little bigger. There we go. Okay, and these actually weren't they weren't as small, and you can't have too much cornstarch. It really makes things a lot easier to keep everything from sticking. I mean, you roll these out. These are like mini sfolia, right? This is just like rolling out a sheet of pasta. Exactly the same technique, just kind of like miniaturized. And ooh, yeah. Almost stuck together. You do want to keep cornstarch in between them. These guys are gonna roll. There we go. Ellie, I agree. I think you are correct. I agree with that assessment. It should be just strong enough to get the contents up to your mouth. And it also has to be strong enough to survive the cooking process. Anyway, this is really easy to do. Anybody can do this. I have no idea how many I've done. These guys are going to be, that's too small. The last one. Okay. These guys are going to stick. Yeah. You get a sense of just, I don't have enough cornstarch of how I'm almost done, so I was like trying to cheat the amount of cornstarch that I needed, but it's not going to work. There we go. Yeah, I feel like these are good. 2 more. We're done. I have no idea how many I've made. Hopefully it's enough for Serena and I, but I can always make more of these later. I've got lots of dough. I don't want to bore you guys making like a million wrappers. Just enough for tonight. These ones are going to be little. Oh, I meant to try a triple for you guys. I forgot. Oh well. Sorry. These are really thin. These will be interesting. I rolled them out this. Wow. Okay. We'll see. I want to flip these over. I want the thin ones on the bottom because I want to start with the ones I know are good. Okay. Well, we're going to have to riot then like the French Because I don't think I can do. Oh, fine. You want to do a triple? Let's do a triple. My God, you guys, whack a triple off here. I don't want riots. Riots in the streets is not going to be good. Yeah, I know. A little peer pressure. Okay, give these a good toss. Oh, that's too small. Shit. All right. Extra cornstarch for the triple. Let's do this. Wow, these are really sticky. Now, how sticky are they? Gonna stick together? Yeah. So the problem with the triple. So there's a couple. First of all, I'm not like obviously a professional gyoza wrapper. I do find it harder to keep a nice round even shape with 3. I don't know why 3 just seems to roll out like. Seems to be harder to keep all 3 shapes together. But still, there you go. There's your triple, guys. 1. They're a little misshapen. 3 just for me, it's harder to keep the shape right. However, we did it. There you go. And I'll even start with those. Okay. There you go, Nick. That is a really, really good way to put it. I don't think I actually need the cleaver anymore. All right, let's clean this up. Put together some gyoza. Don't need you anymore. Okay. Bean gyoza. Yeah, you could do beans. Would be a perfectly acceptable filling. Okay, so the other thing too is, has our cabbage shed any liquid? Not really. Give me a sec, guys. I'm actually going to just see here. Nope. Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, no, it shed a bit. Cabbage in first. And where's the rest of our ingredients? We get the rest of our greens. They go in. Our meat. And for spices, we are going to be using. So you want to shaping it. Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. You want to you want to season this like you would like a sausage, so you can be pretty generous with the salt here. And we need black and white pepper, I said. So let's get that going. A little bit of white, a little bit of black. Wow, the whole thing shakes. I'm actually worried my screen's going to fall right off the table. All right, give me a sec, guys. All right. That was not exactly what I had in mind there. So I managed to knock the monitor right off the back of the table. So now we are going to be like, I have no idea how to even fix this. There you go, guys. This is way more behind the scenes than I had in mind for tonight. Let me see if I can get this like... No. There, yeah. Okay, hang on. How's that? We have some camera back. All right. Yeah, I think, Serena, I'm going to need some help. Guys, we're going to take a short break while I figure out, do a little damage control here and figure out, figure out what I've done here. I actually managed to knock my camera completely off the tripod onto its back. And it seems to have survived okay, so that's good. But also, I have moved this camera out of the way. So give me a sec. Here we go, guys. This is the joy of doing it live, and now I will give you a little play-by-play. Put this camera like back into position. Okay. Actually, that's not too bad. That's not too bad. Oops. No. And we're just going to have to go with like as good as it gets, I think, at this point. Okay, you guys can more or less see what I'm doing. Yeah, okay. I think I'm good, Serena.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, not exactly what I had in mind there, guys. So let's continue on, because it's 20 to 9. Okay. We're back. Kind of. I knocked over a $3,000 camera. That's exciting. Okay. Did I put the ground ginger in here? Oh no, we were doing the pepper. This all started because of the friggin' pepper. The pepper goes in. And I'm going to do about... ground ginger is pretty strong, but I also have a lot of mix. So I'm going with about half a teaspoon here. And we're just going to mix all this up. So you can actually make this filling, this would probably improve if you made this filling up and like left it in the fridge overnight. I'm not going to do that because I don't have time. But this is the kind of thing you could make ahead the night before if you wanted to break it into stages. Okay. Well, I think that's about mixed enough. I think that's good. We can start putting these together. Making our gyoza. I'm gonna wash my hands real quick. We'll mix them up on this guy. It is very cold, Ellie. You're right. Also, that's why the monitor looks so weird, because it's totally knocked off its stand. Very exciting tonight, guys. Gonna have to rethink maybe the way I do this. I've been thinking for ages about getting a like an arm for the monitor. Right now, it says you guys. Oh yeah, you guys can see. It just sits on the desk here. I've been. I have in my Amazon wish list, I have an arm to hold the monitor in place while I do this. Definitely think I'm going to order that tonight. Okay. I need a little spatula thing. Let's make some gyoza. Yeah, I keep my nails pretty short. So there's a bunch of different ways to seal up a gyoza. However, I honestly tried to learn for you guys to learn like a couple of other ways of doing it. They're supposedly easier, but yeah, Nick, that's a good point too. I've made so many of these my way. I just couldn't develop the muscle memory. So I'm going to show you guys how to do this. So you wet all around, okay? We're just going to fold it over. And keep your finger on the filling. And then you're just kind of like going to do the little pleats, okay? So it's just like fold in a pleat, fold in a pleat, fold in a pleat, and then the last one. And you just kind of like smush it down. Yeah, I know. I will definitely get on that. And then the other fun thing, of course, about using irregular shaped wrappers is your gyoza are going to be like a little irregular shaped. So use a little more filling here. This monitor was supposed to actually go to my sister-in-law. Okay. And again, we're just going to like fold it over. Wow, these are really thin. Fold it over. Fold it over, and we're just going to tuck that in. Make it a little more dumpling size. Okay, I'm going to find one that's actually round here. Making my life hard. Yeah, and you know what? Like, all over, when I was doing the research, people were like, oh, the pleats are so hard. They're not hard. They're really easy, and it's an easy, elegant way to do it. As I said, if you don't want to do pleats, you can just fold it over and seal it. But I mean, the pleats are really easy. Especially once you get the hang of it. I hope I'm not leaning into the camera again. But yeah, it's just a little fold over. And this also gives the gyoza its sort of characteristic slightly bent shape. I will say with the store-bought wrappers, you get a much more, more uniform gyoza shape. But I kind of like, as Nick said, you know, this shows you that they were made by somebody who was thinking about you, and that says something. All right, and then just a little pleat. Like I saw somebody pleating them in from each end, and you know what, Paul? When you get the hang of it, it just goes really fast. Oops. Was I just drop this wrapper over and over again? I think I'm just going to do 6 of these for you guys on stream because I'm running a little behind the time. Dare say I might have made these too thin. These are really thin. Okay, I want to make 6. I want to make, for some reason, 6 gyoza is a serving size. And then we just fold our little pleats in. There we go. Okay. Any questions on pleats? Got our gyoza, we're good to go. I'm gonna put this off to the side. Let's get the burner out. Get cooking these guys up. Nick, this is, as I said, you don't have to do the pleats. You could simply just put the filling in and make it a dumpling. Just turn them over and seal them up. Don't let the little pleats, don't let the fiddly technique stop you from making this, because this is so easy to do. Oh, Ellie, my God, you guys are just killing me tonight. So I got a little bit of neutral oil here, which we're going to heat up. And I'm also going to add in a little bit of sesame oil for a little flavor, just as we fry these up. And I guess while we're waiting for the oil to heat up, did I bring down a... I did not. Oh, here, I'll use this. We're going to make a... So, gyoza are great without a dipping sauce. I'm going to make one real quick because I'm waiting for the oil. You guys can see, right? Yeah. So it's basically 3 parts soy sauce. 2 parts rice vinegar, and like half a part of sesame oil, or sesame to like taste. So that's going to be our dipping sauce. Give that a little stir. Oh no. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to a burner that works. Let's try this guy. Oh, you're kidding. Oh, that's why. This is the... Oh. There we go. I hope this one doesn't hiss. Not quite hot enough on oil temperature yet. There we go, okay. Yep, somehow I've actually managed to knock like the entire desk out of level. It's very exciting tonight. Okay, so we want about 2 minutes to let these crisp up on the bottom. And then I'm going to add some water from this bowl here. Okay, so other than the excitement, how are you guys feeling about this? And so we'll go at 7:56. I think we'll check these guys out. It's too hot. So as I said, you could take these, you could prepare all these in advance and then throw them straight in the freezer and make them just like this out of the freezer. Yeah, those are, wow, okay, so those cook really fast. Those are already crispy. And then we're going to cover them for about 5 minutes. So it's 8 o'clock. We'll give them a check. So you want your water to evaporate, but you also want them to steam at the same time. So there you go. Okay, now's a good time for questions. How you guys feeling? I must admit, it was a little more exciting tonight than I had in mind. So yeah. Oh yeah, so get the lid. Crossing my fingers and hoping I haven't done permanent damage to my camera. But I guess if you guys can see me, we're probably okay. Yeah, it's just the thing. They look great. It's funny, I've gotten away with pushing that monitor back to the edge of the tabletop for years. Oh, that's a good question, Ellie. Spencer, it's just it flashes on camera because of the sync of the LEDs. It's not actually flashing. Other fillings, Ellie, that's a really good question. You can basically do whatever you want. So your fillings are basically your protein, your veg, and then your aromatics. So aromatics, you can use garlic and ginger, anything else you want. Veggies, again, same thing. Cabbage is the classic. You can use any kind of ground meat. You could use tofu. Pretty much anything you want. And as I said, the ratios are... Shouldn't be taking the lid off. The ratios depend on whether you're doing Chinese or Japanese. So if you're doing a Chinese style gyoza, it's going to be a little more protein heavy, like meat heavy. And if you're doing a Japanese style, they're going to have more veggies. Veggies not too. I don't think so. I would stay away from vegetables with a high water content. Excuse me. So I wouldn't do like zucchini or something like that. Or cucumber. But carrots would be good. Any kind of mushroom would be great. I know mushrooms aren't a vegetable. They're a fungus or whatever. These look fantastic. I'm cheating here, guys, but I also want to see what's going on. And since I forgot to bring plates down, wow. Yeah, I know. That's the one thing. I wish you guys could smell how good this is. Nick, if you diced your carrots really, really small, then they would cook in the time that... Okay, I'm going to take the lid off. I kind of want my water to evaporate. Almost there. Sweet potatoes would be amazing. I also didn't bring out any cutlery, so this is going to be interesting eating these. So I managed to nail the amount of water right. I don't know if you guys can hear, but I can certainly hear that the water is basically now evaporated, and we're back to just on the oil. Ooh, hot. Oh. Okay. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Feel like we're a little bit back on track. It would need to, Ellie, it would need to be firm tofu. I think soft tofu would just, it's too liquid. Do you have a tofu press? I guess is the one question. If you have a tofu press, then you could use softer tofu if you press it. Otherwise, I would just stick with firm. Okay, guys, I'm going to show you the back side of these guys for a little color. They all have beautiful color on them. Yeah, I'm really happy. These are pretty good. So we're going to try one. Oh, Ellie, yeah, you have to get a tofu press. Look up, look up tofu press. I think I got like the Tofu Buddy or something like that. And it makes a world of difference for your, it's just a little container with a spring-loaded press. And you put the tofu in, it does an amazing job. Okay, let's get to the taste test of this. So as I said, you want to try these without the, they're really hot. Okay, maybe we'll wait 2 seconds for the taste test until, okay, let's just go. Yeah, okay, even better than I thought. They are very hot. Ooh, hot. Okay. So I shop in Asian markets all the time, and I'm always picking up pot stickers and dumplings for everybody. And they're good, you know, like they're good. This is a whole other level. This reminds me of, it reminds me of when we did falafel. Was that falafel last week? They're unbelievably fresh tasting and bright and delicious and just, I'm going to have another one with, without sauce, then we'll try it with sauce. It's fantastic. It's so good. Oh, thanks, Paul. I think I would put a little bit less water in, and I would let the water cook off more and let them crisp up. They're still crispy. No, they're good. Never mind. Let's try them with the dip. Also really good. This is a win, guys. Super easy to make. Nick, you can, but generally people don't. Generally people, they just do they crisp them on the one side, add a bit of water, put the lid on to steam them, and that's it. I think I added too much water. I would add a little bit less next time. But Serena would like these because they don't need sauce. Right? These are delicious without a sauce. Don't rip one open. I ripped one open, I have to eat that one. Okay, let me do this one. Yeah. That's not a bad idea, Nick. Next year, maybe. I was trying to think of, Nick, I was thinking about that for next year. Like, do I want to do burgers again and make it a tradition? Ellie, I don't know if you know. It was our first year at Halloween at the new house, and when we asked the neighbors, apparently we get like a couple hundred kids. So I took my flat top grill out front, and we made cheeseburgers for all the adults. Well, a bunch of kids ate them too, but mainly it was like the kids got candy and the parents got cheeseburgers. We gave away like 24 cheeseburgers. Okay. I'm going to stick around for a couple more questions and eat my gyoza, and then I'm going to call it because I got to take some more painkillers. Really good. Okay, guys. I highly recommend you try this. I mean, all in all, this is really, really simple. You know, you have, the filling was basically cabbage, pork, and seasonings. And you just, buy the wrappers, don't make the wrappers, unless you really want to. Buy the wrappers, fold them over, and fry them up. So, that is it. So everybody have a great night. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I am still getting around to Africa. I have a huge list of things to do. So yeah. I'll see you in 2 weeks. I will figure out what we're doing then. So everybody have an amazing time, and we'll talk soon.